Like to move on now and invite Susan Graham, the Dean of, or Susan, I'm sorry, Jennifer Jones Hall, the Dean of Students, to come forward and share some thoughts. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for being with us.
No problem.
All right.
I brought my favorite koozie, so whatever you guys did, whatever year you did this, I say do it again, because it goes everywhere with me when I drink my Diet Pepsi. Thank you again for your invitation to be here. The Dean of Students, I'm not going to talk about crops, I'm not going to talk about cows, pigs, whatever you all do, so that's what I promise I will not do. I'm a proud member of Phi Mu Fraternity for Women. We are the second largest and oldest fraternity for women. I am not a Phi Mu Alpha that we have here on campus. I love my Alpha Gamma Rhos and probably will always love this fraternity and probably sound like a record player, because this fraternity does amazing things at this university. In the grades for fall 2021, they were, it sounds terrible when I say 10th overall, but you also have to know they're competing against our women who are pretty amazing when it comes to grades. But they had a 3.051 and they were third of all fraternities. For the fraternity, all grade point average was a 3.014, so obviously they were high above that. In spring 2021, they were fourth in our NIC fraternities with a 3.2. There's not a lot of campuses I've worked on, and I've worked on some pretty major campuses like the University of Arizona, Arizona State, Central Missouri, Eastern Illinois, where men's fraternities have the 3.293 grade point average. So they should be commended for what they do here. Last year, for our Greek Awards, they won our Outstanding Philanthropy event, building backyards for 5-star industries. Chapter President of the Year last year was AJ. They won Outstanding Overall Chapter in 2020 and 2021. Their new Member of the Year last year was Zach, your current chapter president. Our average chapter size of fraternities on campus is 28, and I think with your new members, we are hitting close to 26, 27, or 28. So you're definitely the average chapter size. I know that I need to talk a little bit about safety on our campus, and I'll look to our students when I talk to you about this. Carbondale is changing. Carbondale is changing, as you all know. The biggest thing that I tell the fraternities and sororities that live off campus is that you really need to monitor who comes onto your property, who comes into your parties. Where we have had some major incidences this year, we've lost a student in August, we had another shooting in October. And really in both of those cases on campus, well really off campus, close to campus, is the fact that our students just open up their door to everyone and anyone. I live in Marion, it's a pretty safe place. But you know, if my husband and I are out on our front porch and we're drinking, I'm not inviting everybody in. I am literally going, do I know you? Should I invite you in? Are you a student? Come on in. But if you're not a student, I probably would not think about inviting the whole world in. So again, one of the things that's important that I've seen from a Dean of Students perspective is it's not our students. It is not our students causing the issues. It is Carbondale locals. It is people coming in from East St. Louis, Cape Girardeau, that are coming in and causing issues for our students. But you also have to look at it as 10,000 new students coming to campus. What a playground for people who do not want good things to happen. Lots of computers, lots of stuff coming on campus. Perfect time and mentality to steal. Perfect time to come in for a party. They look like they're having a great time, I'm gonna go to that party. They're not bringing me any good, so really that's what's critical. I know everybody would love Greek Row to come back. Here's the reality, it's not coming back. Those buildings will be leveled any day now when we find the money to get them leveled. We do have other plots of lands though that we would love to entertain if you wanna build a house. And again, one of the things I talk to sororities more than fraternities is, we need to be realistic in what we build moving on. We are not a Purdue. We do not have 50,000 students coming to school at SIU right now, okay? We're lucky if we have 10 at this point. We're not gonna build big mansions, but could we build nice facilities that house 6, 7, 8, 10 men? Because living off campus in our apartments, they're beautiful compared to what we could build here. I mean, no offense, I've never been in your house, and I probably don't ever wanna be in your house. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the women have told me what it looks like, so I think I'm good. When you get to your senior level in college, you really are ready to get that job. So you really wanna live in a nice apartment with your own bathroom, with your own kitchen. So again, we should think about building smaller if we're gonna move in that direction. We do have a safety committee on campus that we meet once a week with our students, as well as the Carbondale Police Department of Public Safety, where we talk about the safety message. I'm gonna knock on wood. We have not had any incidences yet this semester. But again, when you all come back from spring break, the weather gets nice, the sun comes out, that's when problems will start to come in. So I guess I'm gonna look at you all and say, be safe, only invite those in that you know, and make sure that they're SIU students. And now I'll open it up for any questions that you may have.
What's the Carbondale Police, I guess, report or aspect or view of what's kind of happened around town?
I think I know that they're very concerned. I'm not a police chief, I don't work. I know that they are very low in staff, very low in staff. If you live in this area and you listen to our local radio stations, they constantly talk about paying people to just sign up to be police at this point. There's a bonus signage if you come in and be a police here. So I know that they're working on very, very slim staff. So they're very concerned. I think it's really important too that our students go that extra effort that I'm not sure our students sometimes do. Making sure that if something happens that they're calling the police, if something happens to them personally that they're calling the police and getting them involved in the situation. I think our students at times hear things happen, but they don't want to get the police involved, and that's what's gonna help us identify this factor that's coming in. I think they're very concerned. I think they're very slim in staff. But our Department of Public Safety on campus is heavily staffed and are willing to work and protect our students, even if it is off campus. Yes, hi.
I always love your enthusiasm, so thank you for always being that way and bragging on the brothers in the way that you do. My question for you is about Greek living. We've had conversations with the chancellor over time, but would you be the right person to try to initiate this? Because I just think, of course, we live in our own time that we enjoyed, and when Greek Row was alive, the place was alive, and it felt really great. And I think for our brothers, you just get to know one another if you've got a gathering place that kind of, we take on board, don't build a house for 40 people so that you're always financially struggling. But I think having a Greek Row reestablished is an important element of life here on campus. So could we work with you about that?
You can.
Okay.
You can. Here's what's gonna be critical as we kind of work together, that I am very upfront, honest, and transparent. We are going to want to make sure that when we build, wherever we build, whatever it looks like, that it looks very similar to each other. And so, I love my AGR, so I'll use you as an example. If we're gonna build a sorority complex, obviously, as you all know, our sororities need to look identical. That's just how women work. We just can't have a trailer put on that same property. You with me? Okay, so we're gonna wanna make sure that if we build lodges or houses, that they're very similar. Same brick color, but then it has your letters outside. And so some of the women's groups that I'm working with right now, I'm asking them to do their research on an Eastern Illinois, on a Valparaiso University, on an Arizona State, where they have very similar lodge-like facilities. So yes, I am that person.
Jennifer, that was exactly what the model was 40 years ago, was with Creek Road. They all look perfectly alike, except for the
Right.
letters out front.
Yep, exactly, and that's where we really need to continue to go. Everybody wants this standalone home, and I get it, but in today's cost and what people want, it's gonna cost you millions of dollars. And so can we make a smaller footprint where more can invest in that footprint with the same reaction, the same action of having a facility or a house?
But those would still all have to be on your plot, but we would have to build them.
Correct, they would be on our plot, but you would have to build them with specifications.
So is that what Greek Row is slated for now, once demolition takes place, is to open those slots back up?
No, that is definitely university land and they have other plans. In the past, when I have spoken with the chancellor and the powers that be, it is really, and I don't know Carbondale very well, so I really apologize that I don't know. If I was on that main street over
Chautauqua?
Chautauqua,
When they tore down the houses,
yes, thank you, Susan, yes.
behind the law school,
Behind the law school, there is a lot of land.
yes.
Yep, thank you.
Drive down Chautauqua and you will see all the empty lots.
Yep. So just as a reference point too, for those of you who don't know, my real role is Dean of Students, but I have done fraternity and sorority life for 35 years of my career, so that's really my upbringing. I've always worked with fraternities and sororities. I'm playing Dean of Students and coordinator of Greek life right now, because we do have an opening. With our new Vice Chancellor coming in, I have moved forward with a proposal, sorry that I'm spitting. I've moved forward with a proposal to bring in a director of Greek life as opposed to a coordinator of Greek life. Coordinator of Greek life just got out of grad school, they're enthusiastic, they're young, but the money is not there and they wanna move on every 2 years. So in the 5 years I've been here, I've been through 3 Greek life coordinators. I really wanna elevate this position to be a director of Greek life, still report to me as the Dean of Students. So I'm in that phase right now of moving this position up, so someone will come and live in Carbondale for longer than 2 years.
Is there active interest from the other fraternities and sororities to have a Greek Row on campus, or are we kind of on our own?
The sororities are very interested. No other fraternity has approached and talked to me about it.
That's good for you guys then.
Mhm.
Right, I mean, here's the reality. You know that Phi Tau has a house. They're never moving out of that house. I haven't been in that either, but they're not moving out. But no one else. It's always the sororities that come and talk to me about it.
Jennifer, one of the selling points when I was down was location, and real estate is location, location, location. I could walk to class from Greek Row. You as faculty here, as administrator, think of the ergonomics, the demographic, where it's located. I didn't have to drive. I walked to class. Now, most people drive to class. I walked. And that was this big selling point for me.
Right.
So the location of a future Greek Row, keep it close enough that you can walk to class.
Right, very much so. Thank you, I'm not the decision maker, but I will get it to the
Talk to
decision
them.
maker.
And Kevin,
Yes.
the location that she's speaking of on Chautauqua
Yeah.
is essentially the same distance as what Creek Road is right now.
Good.
Jennifer, on the, you said smaller houses, what are you looking at? Looking at a 25-person?
Oh, I wouldn't even go that big. Literally, I've worked at Fall State, Valparaiso University, Arizona State, Eastern Illinois, everywhere. I'm telling people to look at their Greek Row, where they have made a smaller footprint. We're talking 10 people living in, but you have a large enough facility for your chapter meetings. But really, you do not wanna have that many bedrooms, because you're not gonna be able to financially sustain it. Because you're gonna go like this with membership. Say we've got 28 men in the chapter right now. 10 would live in. If you went up to 20 or 25, you wouldn't be able to financially manage it. Our women have sororities of 65 right now. They're having a hard time just filling 10 off campus at the Delta Zeta house and the Sigma Kappa house. Our students they wanna live in their own room, they want their own bathroom, they wanna have their own rules. So when you build facilities and there are rules attached to it, and they have to share a restroom, bathroom, it's not what they're looking for right now. It's just a different mentality and a different time.
Could you help us with the rules though? So that rather than it be kind of free flowing, that we kind of keep freshman, sophomore, maybe even a junior on campus?
Yeah, that is something the university would be more than willing to look at, without a doubt. Yeah, we just have to like get there.
And then your residence halls are right here on campus, right here across the street from us, within, again, walking distance of where that location would potentially be for them to be on campus and still close to the house.
Yep.
I want to go back to your first point about public safety and managed outreach, I guess. Those of us that live in the recruiting area of downstate Illinois, where most of your students would come from, recruiting is the numbers here are the single biggest issue. When we turn on the media, we always hear the negative and not the positive. From Chicago South, the local media picks up, there's a shooting in Carbondale, there was a party. So I'm just wondering, is there a way to have managed positive outreach on these issues? We need to hear positive things in our local newspapers and our radio station and our TV station in Effingham and Vandalia, up that way where the kids would come from, instead of the negative.
Right.
And I don't know if there's a way to manage that or not. And the other thing I will say, my daughter's a graduate here and she's an attorney and she worked for the Marion County prosecutor for years, and we talk about this, and she said those situations can be addressed. They have been addressed in other university towns where you get the city and the county and the university in the same room, and they get a plan and they move ahead. And she said there are models in other college communities that had the same problems where they don't have them anymore. And she said, I'm a prosecutor. They used to drag these people into my room, my office every Monday morning, and those problems can be dealt with. And that's an alumni here who has worked in that field. So, not being critical, but somebody needs to be bringing all the groups together in the same room and saying, this can't go on, and we're not leaving this room till we figure this out, because this bad PR that's in my local newspaper, and my University of Illinois neighbor comes over and said, hey, somebody got shot in Carbondale last night, it was cleanup in Champaign. You know, what do I say? So I'm not being critical, I'm just saying somebody needs to move ahead, and we need to turn the public relations around.
Yeah.
I'd like to just comment on this. You know, being local alumni all my life, still raised in Carbondale, lived in Carterville, but still have the farm here, and I have seen what goes on. But I think the Carbondale police and the university police work very hard, and I think one thing about it, maybe they're too honest. I mean, they report actually what's happening. And whenever there is a shooting, there's usually an arrest. And that's more than you can say a lot of other places around. And they're arrested, they're prosecuted. I mean, there was a murder from 3 years ago. They finally drugged the guy back to California. They found him. They brought him back. He's locked up, being prosecuted. On the other hand, we used to have Kate Gerardo with SEMO down there. They like to really blast Carbondale. I mean, they Channel 12, they play it up. Oh yeah, there's a shooting in Carbondale, this and that. Well, the truth being, Kate Gerardo has over twice the crime rate that Carbondale does. And a lot of these other communities but in the past, this stigma.
We don't hear that,
has stuck with it. But I think that, would you not agree with me on how they're able to grant these? I mean, the shooting in this part of town, they know how the high speed, after the shooting, the high speed car takes off, and not too long, they'll round them up. They may have to go to St. Louis, and they'll find a lot of them in Cape Girardeau too. I mean, but Cape's kind of quieting down on this because they've got their problems. They're not dealing with it, but I think here they're trying. I'll give them credit.
Yeah, no, I would agree wholeheartedly. I have a very good relationship, if you want a really good relationship with the police, on our Department of Public Safety, but also with Carbondale. Cause I'm the person, I'm the it person, so when it affects our students, I'm the one that they call, and I go to the hospital, and I meet with the parents, I meet with the student, I am it. And so I know that they try really, really hard. I would agree with you. I think Cape Girardeau is more unsafe than Carbondale. But for some reason, people loves to kick this university when it's down, and that's the news cycle. The first question you asked me, I did have an answer to it, but now I can't remember what the first question was.
I
Does
talked
anybody
about
else remember?
positive outreach.
Oh, yes, okay,
I've
thank
got
you.
neighbor kids that went to Murray State
Right.
because their parents, you know, these are farm kids,
Yes,
not
yes.
real out in the world. Well, they never hear anything bad about Murray and, you know, so,
Yeah.
and I go talk to them, it's like, why are you driving through Carbondale to go to Murray?
Yeah.
Well, it's a better place, and
Right.
I hear all this, and I get frustrated because I can't talk them out of it.
Right, well, we, literally, I think I don't think I know, the chancellor has a number of different priorities. Number one is enrollment, number two is public relations of our university, and selling it to our backyard. It's selling to the kids from Carterville, from Aaron, from Marion, from, you name it, Anna Jonesboro. So we just hired a new executive director for public relations for the university. In the past, we've always done it this way, so we'll just put someone in and hope that they talk positively about us. He's literally went out and found a corporate person that's going to change how the messaging for Southern Illinois is gonna look. So he is being very intentional. I think you will start to see that come forward.
Do you see literature then having like a small portion in it that talks about safety, and maybe it'll say the violent crime rate in Carbondale compared to Cape Girardeau compared to
Yeah,
another
very much
town
so.
or something?
Very much so.
That's what it
Jennifer,
takes.
the land you're talking about over there, does the university own it too then?
Yes,
Okay,
mhm.
so it's.
Yep, the university owns it.
Okay.
Trying to get off the hot seat, so I'm walking away.
Okay.
It was a great day with you, so thank you very much.
The security issue is a hot button issue. If all of you don't know, our house was broken into over, I guess, what was it, Thanksgiving break, and items were stolen. They've also had on occasion shots fired or whatever in the neighborhood, so it is a big deal for us if everybody's not aware. So thank you very much, Jennifer. We appreciate, as Greg said, your positive approach, and we look forward to continuing to work with you.
Thank you.